Right, this afternoon we're going to sow some COLDSTART, which is available from HM Seeds or Ripper Agri. And the main feature, well, one of the main features of COLDSTART is that it can be sown in conditions of about 3 degrees above zero. So this isn't an overly scientific test. We've just found a rough piece of ground, and as you can see, a cat's already been and visited the site just to make sure there's no vermin about. So the COLDSTART basically has 50% Karnak dwarf perennial ryegrass in it and 50% Colosseum, and it's the Colosseum that is the seed that will start to germinate first. So it's the 26th of March, and here's today's paper just to prove it. Any old paper will do, I'm not too fussy. So I'm going to clear this piece of ground and very quickly prep it for the grass seed. Snow shovel in hand, and we'll start. So for the next part of this process, as you can see, I've very roughly raked the ground over using my trusty rake. And I'm going to just with this temperature probe establish, well, you can see what the air temperature is there. We're going to just measure the soil temperature. And that's showing 1.7 degrees. So I'm going to sow the seed anyway. I'm going to leave the buttercups in and the other weeds because I want to see how they cope at trying to defeat the grass seed as it all starts to germinate. Now, with it being so late in March, I'm hoping that this snow won't last for too long, and then we'll get a fast start on the entire process of germination, and then we can see which does well or the best, and see, of course, how well the grass seed does, which is what the experiment's about. So we've dropped to 1.6 degrees there, so we're underneath the 3 degrees of temperature that the grass seed needs to go and start growing. So I've got a sample pack here, and these samples have been sent out to quite a few golf clubs and 1 or 2 football clubs across Lancashire and the north of England, and that'll give you the mixture there when it just focuses up. Now the man to speak to, you can speak to anybody really at Hurls, either Nick or Steve or Joe or anybody like that will be happy to help, or you can email me at Ripper Agri, and we'll be quite happy to give you more advice and prices on this grass seed. So I'll open this up and then I'll sow it. I'm not going to be too specific on how it's sown. I'm going to cast it by hand, because, like I said before, I don't want it to be too scientific. I want it to be a bit rough, if anything, because then it just proves just how good this seed really is. Do one more temperature check. So we're still at 1.6, so that's good. So you'll see that the seed has been sown. Yes, I've sown it quite heavily, as you can see, because the patch is just over a metre square. We're still on, well, we've gone down to 1.5 degrees above zero. So I'm going to rake this in, and then the trusty roller that's hiding in there is going to just press it into place, and then I'm going to walk away from it. I want to try and give it as rough a start and as hard a going as possible, so that we can then see how durable and how good this grass seed really is. And then when you're ready to place an order, you can email or ring anytime you want. So we've rolled it in, and as you can see, it's not very scientific, is it? But well, that's what it's about, and let's give it a rough start, and just to stop the birds from pinching it, because we have quite a lot around here. I'm going to blast a little bit of snow back over it, and then hopefully it'll have a little bit of protection. You can always trust some helpers somewhere to stamp all over your good work. Anyway, yes, well, we are aiming at football clubs, and if you need a ball boy, I was going to read that. I was, honest. Right, anyway, so I'll scatter this over with snow, and we'll get these videos stitched together and uploaded.